Now, you have you on social media, man. You have a great account. You know, it continues to grow and strive further. Do you have anything that you hate about social media? What is one thing you don't like about it?
Yeah, so I got a love-hate relationship with social media. I think it's one of those things that we all say, people with social media, the people that I think do a good job on social media all say, it's not necessarily who I am. It's my brand, and you want to be authentic. It's one of those things though that you just can't help but you start to post what you think people will like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I'm trying to do more in 2020 is post things that I want to post rather than posting what might get the best engagement. Because I think, that's where we see a lot of girls in the fitness industry, I think, getting carried, they see, obviously, a lot of them have followers that love seeing, their booty shots. So what do they feel like they need to do? Post more booty shots. It's the same thing for guys.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's guys liking guys' photos. The bigger you are, the leaner you are, the more likes you're getting. And so it's easy just, to look at my top 9 most liked photos and think, oh, 7 of them, I'm ripped with my shirt off. I need it like that. Rather than thinking, okay, well, what do I want to post? What do I want, what do I want to be known for? I want to be more education, more about, different workouts. And I think so taking a step back, maybe not posting as much, posting what I want to post about rather than feeling like, oh, I need to get up a post because I haven't in a while, or I need to post this with my shirt off because yesterday's photo didn't get as many likes and I really need to come back today. But it's also one of those things that, it's tough because you also want to grow your following.
Right.
And a lot of times the things that grow our following are those things that, they get a lot of attention that might not be always what we want to post, but rather, so I think it's a fine line. I always tell people, I like to think of it as I have the posts that are like, when you give a kid applesauce when he's a baby, you feed him applesauce, but a lot of times you see parents put like little bits of peas and carrots in that applesauce. So you're giving them the really healthy stuff with the stuff that tastes good. I kind of liken that to social media, and you give, you kind of put out there, you give people really the deeper stuff with a little bit of the shallow stuff that always does well on social media. And if you do a good job of that and you know your brand and you stay true to who you are, I think it can be such a valuable tool. But I also think, in this day and age, people, it runs influencers' lives.
I was talking to a very popular influencer a few weeks ago, and he told me that he literally was unable to post for 2 weeks straight on his wall because he felt so much pressure that this picture would equal to the previous post in likes and comments.
Yeah.
Have you ever found yourself in I mean, maybe not to the extreme, but have you ever found yourself in a situation like this?
Yeah, I have. Human nature, maybe not for that long. I have to remind myself when I start thinking like that again, I have to be okay with who I am at the end of the day. Like I have to be this person that, again, being a human being, I have to be able to be okay with not always being perfect, which means if you are always competing against other people on social media or your best post, that means that if you're always trying to beat that post before, that means you're constantly you're letting that Instagram or whatever define you, and you're letting that change your mood, feeling like you're good enough or you're not good enough. Just like, we talk about with competing. When you step on stage and that judge tells you, oh, you need to do this or that, you're letting that person tell you you're good enough or you're not good enough. If that's your mindset, if that's what you're thinking, you can do that same thing with social media. If you don't get the feedback you want today, I don't feel good enough today, and it affects the rest of your day. It affects how you interact with people. You're in a bad mood. If someone leaves a negative comment. Or you can just say, I'm going to put this up there. It's part of my brand. It's part of my business. It's part of who I am. Like, yes, I want the world to know about it. It might not do that great. I know tomorrow, like I'm going to have some good posts. I'm going to have some bad posts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just life. And if you can early on establish that's just the way it's going to be, you're not going to every day have your most liked photos and things like that, then you'll be a lot healthier mentally. And if you can really set out to what you want to put out there to the world, what do you want to be known for? Educating, motivating. Mm-hmm. Do you want to be known for having great glutes? Do you want to be known for having the best abs? Whatever it is you want to be known for, right. Put that out there. And if you're always staying true to yourself, then, it doesn't matter. The like should come secondary.
Mm-hmm. Now you're in a relationship currently, and you feel obviously you shared on your social media.
Yeah.
Is there rules to that? When you're in a relationship and you're a public figure, is there rules you're supposed to follow? Whether to what to show, what not to show? Some people kind of keep it private. What is your rule on that? What's your take on that?
Yeah, and this is an area probably where I haven't always done the best. I've always put the girls I've dated. I've had probably before my current girlfriend, I've dated two girls for a long period of time that both were. I put a lot. Both I dated over 2 years. I put both of them on my social media a lot. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't do anything differently. It's one of those things that people, there's people that say like, oh my gosh, Steve's got another girlfriend. I'm like, really, if you think about it, I've dated 4 people over the last 7 years. Like I really haven't. I've been probably on 9, like a total of 9 dates with different girls in the last 7 years. Mm-hmm. That's not a lot of dates. That's not a lot of different girls, but it's one of those things that people get used to seeing that on social media. And, they might follow you for 2 years and you're posting and you have this, you have your significant other. And then, life happens. It's not a normal thing for anyone in life to go through a couple relationships. And I think it's one of those things that it's hard because you want to, you see hurtful comments or you see people comparing your last girlfriend to this girlfriend, right. And people debate. And it's one of those things that I have thick enough skin now where I don't really let it affect me. And I always tell the girls, like my current girlfriend, Morgan, when I talk to her about things, she hates, just like I hate being compared to people's exes or this or that. It's just like, that person has good qualities. And it's just one of those things that social media likes to do. It's one of the negative things I would say social media likes to do. But it's one of those things that I like sharing. If I'm with somebody for, maybe not the first 3 months, but if you're with somebody 6 months, a year, 2 years, you're doing so much life with them that you want to share that with YouTube or Instagram, because it's just a big part of your life. And, if you're a vlogger on YouTube, that's part of the business is letting people in. And you shouldn't be vlogging your life. If you're just a basic vlogger, people are going to expect to see who's in your life. So I think it's one of those things that, hard and fast rules. I don't like to, early on in a relationship, I'm not going to post about it. But at the same time, I'm pretty carefree, easygoing with my social media. There's not a lot that I feel like is off limits. I just want to be authentically me.
No, absolutely. Have you ever engaged in an argument or any type of back and forth with people that comment on your page, whatever?
Yeah, typically, people. It's like I have a French bulldog. He's like he's like my son. Like I literally, and if people get on me about, oh, I can't believe you. I think I'd taken him to the vet, and there was some surgery had done that wasn't done well. And there were people like, oh, that's what you get for buying a test tube dog or something like that. And a lot of times when they talk about my dog, for some reason, I get sensitive. But I also think I have in the past really engaged with people, but I stop, and sometimes I'll write out something mean and then just delete it all. I'm human. Like you want to fire back, but you got to remember that's what people want. A lot of people that are out there, like you and me, when's the last time you ever felt so negative you went on someone's post and just totally tried to destroy them? Like
never.
People that yeah, exactly. People that do that aren't happy people. So rather than go down to their level, take the high ground, which again, it doesn't always happen. You're human. You kind of want to fire back. If you've had a hard day, a long day, and you're on social media and you shouldn't be, you should be going to bed or something. It's easy to fire back at people, but in my experience, it's never turned out well. If anything, I'll sometimes message someone, like if they kind of have a valid point, or if they're a longtime follower and they're seeing something that I don't agree with. Sometimes I'll give an instant message and be like, hey, just out of curiosity, why'd you comment that, or what were you seeing? And if someone that makes sense and they have a logical perspective on something, I'll kind of take it into consideration and talk with them about it. And more times than not, you know, you kind of come around.